All right.
So,
So
yeah,
yeah, we can go into the official interview. You're
yes.
listening to NYC Radio Live. David Ellenbogen here. I am thrilled to be speaking with one of the great percussionists on the planet, Selvaganesh.
Oh, thanks,
Um,
David. Thanks.
yeah, and we've had a few chats and of
Yeah.
course hung out and all that stuff over the years.
Hmm.
Um, you even lived in an apartment of mine.
Yes.
We've known each other
Yes.
for a while. Um,
With my dad.
yeah, I know that was
Yeah.
many,
Yeah.
and I took classes with you and your
Yeah.
dad
Yeah.
and your it was amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the occasion is that we're chatting now is a celebration of Zakir Hussain is happening at Carnegie Hall March
On
6th.
the 6th.
Yeah, and then we're broadcasting about 7 hours
Hmm.
Zakir's music on the
Hmm.
8th.
Oh, that
It's
sounds good.
not enough. It's
Yeah.
amazing when you think, oh my God, this is nothing. This we
So
could do.
one life is not enough.
Yeah,
I would put it by that way. Like,
yeah,
he's such amazing. First of all, he's such amazing human being. That's like, that's what the speciality of Zakir Bhai.
mm,
An amazing musician. And he's a high opener for every percussion player in this world. And what a person he is. I have long way to go, and I have a lot of things. Like, I mean, right now where I am, it's all because of him. It's all because of one person. That's Ustad Zakir Hussain. Zakir Bhai is like my family, because in 70s, where my dad joined in Shakti, that's where they become colleagues, and they become buddies, and they become brothers. They are like, I mean, they were like, they know each other inner and musically, everything. So he's like, in the we are in his family, and he's in our family.
yeah, yeah. And you took up the mantle and shared the stage with him and
Yeah.
helped as a member of the Remember Shakti. Some of those incredible recordings and
Yeah. But
amazing.
before Remember Shakti, I joined them in Masters of Percussion in 1993. That's where like my first journey, where I holded his hand, and then until end of his life, I was just walking with him, and he's the one who showed me the path. Like, I mean, 93, that was a beautiful story, like how I joined him, because he didn't know that I play Kanjira, because he know my dad from 70s.
Mhm.
And before I joined, like, there was a Kanjira player, one of the top most legendary Kanjira player, Harishankar, who used to play with him. And then he had one Europe tour in 1993, where Harishankar couldn't make it because he was working in All India Radio, so he couldn't take a half, because they won't allow for too many things to do it as a government job. So he said, like, sorry, Sakiba, I couldn't make it. Why didn't you take Selva, Viku's son? And Zakir said, oh, I didn't know that he plays the Kanjira. So he said, yeah, he's doing well. He's playing all over. So why didn't you ask Viku? Like, then he called my dad and I said, like, Viku, I didn't know that your son plays a Kanjira. Why you didn't tell me? And then he said, you didn't ask me. And anyway, like, we have Kanjira playing in our band. So no need to tell you, like, about my son and things like that. And he says, no, Arishankar cannot make it. He couldn't make it. So why don't we have your son to join for this tour? That's it. Okay, cool. And my dad called me and I said, okay, so be ready. Like, we have a tour in Europe with Zakir Bhai and Masters of Percussion. I said, what? Oh my gosh. That was like, really eye opening for me. I said, like, I was so nervous first,
Mm,
but to meet him, not to play with him, because I know, because the music which I grew up is like, Shakti. In 70, 75, 76, like, when I was 3, 4 year, 5 year kid, the first music which I heard was Shakti. So I know they are like family. And so I just went. And then we had like a 4 or 5 concerts. First concert was in Austria, in Vienna. That was like I cannot forget that place. Like, I went in, I sat with him, we played, and he said, wow, amazing. So now, why don't you join? in Masters of Percussion. That's it. From there, I was all around. Every year we had like a Europe tour, America, Europe, America, a lot of concerts with Masters of Percussion. So that's where every tour, he always does a lot of workshop in the morning in some institutes, and he always calls me. I said, "Be ready tomorrow morning. You go with me." So only me, I go with him, and then I said, "That's where I've learned how to do the workshop. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known it. To explain the rhythm and the presentation." It's not just he doesn't do anything what he knows. He always go with the audience flow, and he will get the vibe immediately. Okay, this is what I can do it, because he never prepared anything for the workshop or for the concert. He always goes with the vibe. That's what the first thing I have learned it. So usually we prepare, okay, today I have a workshop, let me talk about this, that, but it doesn't happen like that with him. It's amazing, the play which he does. It's amazing on the stage. He knows the vibe, and then he starts with something, and then he goes in. He knows it. Okay, this is what people looking forward to hear from me. So that's the beauty of him, like where he can just build up everything onto the vibe, and then he will make the audience oh my god, this is the best class I would have treated, whatever. So this is the first thing which I have learned it. So from that moment, he always says one day we were having a lunch, and he was walking out for lunch, and then I was downstairs, and he said what are you doing here? I said yeah, I'm just looking for some food. Okay, come with me. So I said, okay, where are you going? So I'll take you. I'll get you a vegetarian food. You don't worry about it. So I went with him, and then just me and him sitting. And then we went to Italian, and then we had a pasta. And he said, okay, I'm going to ask you one question. I said, yeah. Would you close your eyes and hold my hand and walk with me? Don't ask me anything. In musical journey. I said, yes, I'm ready to do it. From that moment, that's it. I was just holding his hand, and he took me places. He introduced the different music. And whenever we travel, I always listen to something, and then he always asks, what are you listening to? I said some classical Carnatic music, and sometimes some movie songs, or sometimes I'm biggest fan of Michael Jackson and Britney and whole pop thing. I said, that's fine. Then he bought that time there was CD CD player, because in
Mhm.
90s there was not iPad, iPod or something like that. Nothing. So he was getting a few of CDs which he says, this is jazz. Okay, listen to this. This is more, you will love it. And this is listen to this, Miles Davis and all this stuff. And when they came up, Apple came up with the iPod, he bought me one iPod fully loaded of top class musics. He said, listen to this. So from that moment, that's where I gained the knowledge about the world music and different form of music, different genre of music. So just imagine how he taught me. It's not students sit with the guru. It's not like that. It's in the family. So it's how did I learn my music in my family with my dad and my uncle? So I never feel it even though of course I felt I feel that they are my gurus, but it's into the family. So I have little freedom, and then little I can ask can you teach me this, whatever. So it goes with the flow. Similarly, same thing happened with me and Zakir Bhai. It's with the flow. He just decided what he wants to give me, and then later on he said, oh okay, so he can take this. Okay, let me give him more. Oh, he can take it. Same thing happens on stage also. So whenever we play together in Shakti, he always throw me a lot of stuff, and he knows it. I can handle it. I didn't even know about that. So he throws all on stage, on spot, everything. I have a lot of experience. As I said earlier, it's to describe him or to make a story about him. One life is not enough, because he's a avatar, we call it. So a reincarnation of God. He came into this earth to kill the demon, which is the ego of a musician. That's the main demon of each and every musician, right? He is the one person who killed the demons from a lot of musicians. So now we are all we are free, we are happy, and we are we have a self-confidence and everything. So he did his job, and then he went back.
Wow. I'm so curious because I know that when he came to San Francisco in the 60s, it was
Mhm.
very blowing experience for him to get exposed to so many world musics and everything that was happening out there. So what are some of the tracks on that iPod that kind of jump out at you as different types of music? Can you remember
Mhm.
any specifics?
Oh, a lot. I mean, first of all, I heard little bit of Weather Report long time back when in
Hmm.
my college, the Prasanna guitar player. So
Yeah.
we used to jam, and then he always says, but I didn't know about that music. I just hear the groove and play. But to get about Weather Report and
Tony Williams. Yeah.
yes, and then of course a lot of miles and a lot of drummers, a lot of things. The first thing was like a Weather Report which he gave me. He said, like, listen to this, you will love it, and then you will learn it. Not even just, you will learn a lot. So, oh my gosh, after that, I mean, everything for me, it's like a different. And I'm become a biggest fan of like Joe Zawinul, you name it, that's one thing. And then he said, listen to Frank Zappa, listen to this drummer, Teddy Bozzio. I said, okay. So and then lot of things. Just these are the two things which came in immediately to my mind,
Right.
two genres. Just imagine Frank Zappa and Weather Report and Miles. So
Yeah.
it's all loaded, fully loaded. I mean, for me, it's amazing, amazing. And then he
Yeah.
always asked, like, what did you listen? What did you heard today? I said I was listening to Birdland. Okay, recite something. I said, oh my gosh, I couldn't recite. No, no, just maybe you don't have to recite the melody. How the drums and I was like doing like that. See, there you go. Just
Yep.
that's it. You'll learn. You'll learn. So you will get to know what are the other music or other musicians. That's with their music. So it's not just to show off or something. How they back up, how they are behind, how they are pillar. So he corrected me without telling me, saying like, "Oh, this is wrong. What you're doing. You have to do like this." If he would have done it, I would have think like, "No, I'm doing good," or maybe I will listen to, or I will lose my self confidence in sense like, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing wrong. Oh, I couldn't do that." So Zakiba will be not happy or something like this. He never done that. He always says, he make me to listen, and then he said, "What did you learn from them?" And then this is what, this is what. See, that's how you have to back up. That's the a kind of approach to the music. So I said, "Oh, that's good. Let me try that." Rather, what I was doing, it's wrong. Instead of, I felt it in my mind, "Oh, it's better than this. Let me go on this way." That's the way of teaching. That's
Mm.
the beautiful way of teaching, because he knows, if he says like, if I tell you this is wrong, then you will get, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing wrong." So you will feel that you've done some mistakes. Rather, how about this? What you're doing is good, but how about this? Then you say, "Oh, okay, I like it. Then let me go." And also he said, like, "I love this." Zakiba always says, "I followed this. That's where I'm doing it." Then I'll say, "Oh, let me also do it," because he's a person, how he knows how to present his solos. And because presentation is more important, how you deliver to the audience, what you've learned, but how do you deliver? That's the biggest lesson which I've learned from him through his the way of approach. That's
Mm.
the beauty of Zakiba.
Yeah. Wow, that's such an incredible thing. One thing that Bela was saying, I got a chance to speak to him, and he said, that he accompanied like a great jazz musician, and he could help figure out where you might be going when you don't know, and he could follow, he could lead.
See, from 1999 to 2023, we have done Shakti. Okay, he's the person who comes up with like a brilliant, because when John G comes up with the melody, and he's the one who builds up the percussion parts, and then okay, after solo you come up like this, so that it's a way to go on to the next melody or to the next solos. He's the path, he's the bridge. And I always wonder how he can get that kind of ideas. So I was just listening to that, and end of moment, like 2023, where we came up with the first a studio album. But even though we haven't recorded all together, but of course we did few. We were like, then Zakir Bhai was busy after the COVID. Actually, we started in the part of COVID, and then he said, "Now you know what? You take over and do the percussion parts." I said, "Zakir Bhai, oh, I no, of course you can do it." So that's again the biggest lesson. Rather, see if he has a kind of a feeling that no, I'm the main percussion player, you would say
Mhm.
like, oh, do that, I will do that. But he's not that kind of a person. He wants to give you a role where you will learn it. It's not a question of I have done that whole part. It's not that I've learned how to do that parts.
Mm.
So the whole, the album, and John G also. I will talk about John G also, a little later, because he's again one of the, a person who is like that, who gives you places and, take it. So Zakir Bhai and John G decided, okay, you do it. So I was presenting the whole rhythm section, and then John G sends me a pieces. I said, oh, let me fix up a groove, and then this is the core wave to lead to the bridge, and I set it up, and then I leave a space. I also work a lot of thing in the computer as a software and everything, so I know how to do that and everything. I did it the whole album, and then I've sent it to Zakir Bhai, and I was little worried, I don't know what's going to happen, whether he likes it or not, because John G already he said, perfect. I loved it. I love the way it goes in. So, and we used to, I mean, we did the recording in India, in Chennai, where he was sitting in America, but live, I mean, there's one person in Chennai who can connect the computer here, and then he can record here, which slightly delayed, but we moved and everything. So he was on the Zoom and then recording. And he said, okay, what do you got me today? I said, this is the first piece, and Zakir Bhai, just hear it and tell me whatever has to be changed, we can change it. Because this is the first time I'm just co-producing the album. He said, okay, play it to me. So he just heard once. I said, okay, let me record. So I said, Zakir Bhai, let me record. He played exactly, he heard once, and then he played one, not even stopping. He said, don't stop anywhere. If anything to be repaired, we can do it over dubbing. So he just played. There was not even one single mistakes. And I have done a lot of core ways in between. He played it and said, is that okay, Zakir Bhai? It's amazing. Don't worry. Do all the pieces and send it to me, and we'll record like that. I was still I get the goosebumps, because he's the person who opens the door, and I said, do it. See, are you getting it? What I'm saying is because he's the main percussion player. Zakir Bhai and my dad. So when I joined in '99, I'm like a kid, to him, to his music, I'm nothing. But imagine, he says, no, 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 do one thing. I'm busy, but these are the core ways. You don't do this, change this groove, do that. You would have done it, but you do it because you will learn it. When do you learn if you don't do it? So that was the beauty of him, to give you space. He opens the door and I said, go for it. Don't be always holding behind me. Go and then search and learn. So that's the beauty, which I have done the whole portion. Why I'm saying this is I've learned this from him from 1999, because Masters of Percussion is more of percussive thing. We do solos and then choruses, but this is the band. It's a new thing for me. So 1999, I was just watching, because 1999, when we started to Remember Shakti, it's all a new pieces where John G came up, like 6, 7 pieces. And it's not like the oldies, like a Shakti pieces, but it's all new. And I saw it, we were sitting and John G said, this is the piece, this is the head. And Zakir will tell me, how do we move on? So he finds the groove and he said, okay, this is the groove, nice. And Zakir, by always, whenever he comes up with the groove, it's always fits. It doesn't John G, oh, can you give me some other groove or something? Never ever happened. I haven't seen that. He always comes with one groove, bang on. That's on the pocket, and then he comes up with a lot of bridges, rhythmic bridges, core ways, and some composition which goes leads, and it's all set beautifully. If you hear the Remember Shakti, it's all top notch of rhythmic sections, and you have to be awake. You cannot just relax on stage. Okay, now I can relax. No, you have to be open, because it's all I mean, beautiful. It's I mean, it's a story. Like, you cannot miss one word. If you miss it, then you're lost. It's like that. And my dad always says, playing with Zakir Bhai, it's like walking on the knife. If you miss, it cuts. So it is like that. So I've learned it, which like he made me doing this because he just wanted to see, did you learn or not? So I've learned it. I came up. So these are all I have to, I mean, it's all his credits. And I haven't seen a musician like this kind of a, not just open minded. There are a lot of musicians who are open minded, but to bring you up front and like not just with me, you have done it with Niladri, you have done it with Rakesh, you have done it with Rahul Sharma, a lot of musicians, you name it, even in West, a lot of Tawil players from South. He gave a space and he brings them. See, when Masters of Percussion, he always, when we starts, and he always comes up with new ideas, and he always asks us, what do you think, how do we take it in? He's the leader. He doesn't need to ask anything. He said, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. But he always like, waiting to hear what you say. If it's good, if it's bad, he won't say it. He say like, oh, rather, how about this? Then you learn this.
Mm.
He's like that. So he's a bridge for every genre of music. You can, any form of music, any form of musician, he can be the best person to like, take this and put it together, and then it sounds amazing.
So what that I listened back to that Remember Shakti with you and Thakurji and John and you Srinivas
Yes, it was. Yeah.
is it's such an unbelievable band.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine what that must have felt like to be on stage with those people, because I mean, you Srinivas is, him and John were just bringing each other to new heights. It was
Yes.
really incredible the way that they could speak each other's vocabulary so fluidly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you, yeah.
No,
Well,
it's amazing. Like, the thing is how I joined it. It's a beautiful story. They did one concert for some in London, some charity concert, which is John G, Hari Prasad Chaurasiya ji, Zakir Bhai, and my dad. But the thing is, they called it Remember Shakti because see, it's Shakti, but he said like, okay, Remember Shakti. They just did one album in London. It's a live album. It's there, which is four of them. And John G played separately for half an hour, and Hari Ji played for half an hour. Then they played one piece, which is Lotus Feet. So after that, John G felt like, we should do a band again, Remember Shakti, and tour and come up with an album. And Ariji was busy with his, Ariji is the person, in 365 days he will do 400 concerts. He's like that. So he was totally busy, and my dad was busy with his schooling. He was building up the school. So Zakir said, yeah, but we need to find one more, the other melodic player. Whom do you think? And then John just said, my dream in my lifetime, I really wanted to have Srinivas on the board, and it's my pleasure to sit with him. See, that's the beauty, So they decided, and then this I didn't know, that I'm going to join. And Zakir said, Vikuji is busy with his schooling, so let's have Selva, and he can play mridangam, kanjira, katam, so different. So he's like good at it. So John Ji said, okay, do you have anything where I can hear the Selva's playing and thing? Because just to join the band, it's even though I'm son of Vinayak Ram, it doesn't mean that I can be good or whatever. He said give me some where I can hear them. And then he said, no, I'm touring in Europe and we are playing in Paris in Theatre de la Ville. So why don't you come for the concert? So you will hear him there live. You can audition him on the live. So he said, okay, when is that? So this was 1999 April. So that was the concert with Ganesh Kumarish, Zakiba, me and my dad. So we were touring in Europe. So we played in Theatre de la Ville where John C came. And I didn't know that, but because the album, the Remember Shakti with Hariji, it got released that moment. And then the next day morning, they went to the Virgin Records to present a small show so that the album release will happen. So that's the one thing. So John G came for the concert, and then after the sound check, we were going on stage He didn't tell me that John G is coming because he doesn't want me to get nervous or things like that. And he didn't even tell me that he's coming here to auditioning. If I get to that, like, then I'll be little conscious about like what do I do. So I was cool. On stage, we were on stage, and then he that was the day, like, he was letting me play a lot. I said, what's happening today? Maybe he's tired. So I was just like, playing. And then in my solo, he said, like, do a real, like, master solo today. I said, okay, if you say so, because I'm just listening. So I did my solo. Everything went great. So then we were in the green room after the concert. I saw John G walking. I said, wait a minute, is that John McLaughlin? Yeah. Is he came for our concert? Is it? Yeah. So John G walked in, and then he looked at Zakir Bhai. Zakir Bhai said like this, and then that's it. And then next day morning, and we were in the Zakiba called me. Because he said, like, no, come down tomorrow. There is a album release where your dad and me, John G, and Ariji played, but Ariji couldn't make it, so we are going to play three of us. You bring your Kanjira also. Oh, so am I going to play with John G tomorrow? Yeah, yeah, come. So I went, and then we played the whole like in one or two pieces he played, and then we had a jam. Then after that, we all went for a lunch, and then John ji said, "Zakir, did you tell him?" I said, you tell him." So John ji said, "Okay, Viku. So I know you're busy, so now we're going to have Selva in Shakti." I was said, "Wait a minute. Are you talking to my dad about me?" And I was looking at to Zakir Bhai. Zakir Bhai said, "Yes." Then we were sitting like this. Zakir Bhai is next to me. I holded his hand. He said, "I'm there, no, don't worry." That's it. And then we all went, and Zakir Bhai said, "One more thing, not just Kanjira, you have to play Murdangam, Kanjira, Ghatam." Until that moment, I haven't touched the Murdangam. At least Ghatam here and there I played. I haven't touched my Murdangam. So I said, "Zakir Bhai, I haven't touched Murdangam for in my lifetime. I just played Kanjira and Ghatam. Don't worry, just go and practice. You will get it. We have time. This is April, and we have a concert in September. The tour starts in September, so don't worry. You have enough time to play." I said, "Okay, if he has a confidence on me, then I should be like, definitely, because he knows me. He knows every moment." After our tour with Ganesh Kumar ends in Nice, and then that time he did a movie called Vanaprastham. He scored for that movie, and that went for the Canes for the festival. And on that night, they wanted Zakir Bhai to perform for Indian Night, where they were hosting that movie team was hosting it. And then he called John G because it's near for him. So he said, like, "Can we do it?" And then John G, Ganesh, me, and Zakir Bhai. Because my dad went, like, he went back to India. So he asked me and Ganesh Kumaresh to stay for this festival, because that's not part of the band, like, the tour. This was extra. So we went, and then John came, we played, and I was like so thrilled. Then he said, "Selva, we're all going back, but you stay 2 more days. Go to John G's place, be with him, and then rehearse." You won't believe it. I was totally nervous. In my lifetime, first time I got nervous. I said, "No, no, Zakir bhai, just me alone, please. You come with me, no? You can't, like, have me everywhere. You have to stand on your word. For that, you need to struggle. So go." Because, like, the thing is, then you will get to understand what John G's music. If I'm there, then you will only listen to me. You will follow me. You won't get what he is doing it. So go. I swear, my God, I went. John G picked up. He put me in the train to, like, Nice, and then he came to Nice to pick me up to Monaco. We went. I stayed 2 days in his house. We jammed. We played. First, I was like, a little bit hiding. Like, what? Then he says, John G said one word, "Salva, you know, whenever I compose a piece, first thing I will show it to Viku. And Viku comes up with the groove, and it's called God's rhythm. It's God's rhythm. And you're son of Viku. You should be also having some God's rhythm. Don't be shy, just hit it." That's opened my mind. Then I was jamming with him. I said, "That's where you go. Come on." That's it. So we were jamming, and then we were room, like, he's taking me out. And then he took me to the library, Hina's library, and a lot of photos. And he said, let me show you one photo. Come on. So I went in 80s when they were touring in India, Shakti. I was like a 10-year kid. Then, yeah, 12 years kid. No, sorry, 10. They were doing a sound check, and I'm standing behind with my school uniform, just like this, as a kid watching the sound check. That was the photo. Like, I was standing behind, and then John just said, "See who's there." Oh yeah, that's me. I couldn't believe now you are with me and playing with me. And I said, I couldn't believe too. And this is so blessed. Who gave me this? Zakir bhai. So after that, I was like, I was even like, upfront, and he opened a lot of stuff. So that's why I said, whatever I am right now, it's all because of him. This is the story. It's not just he takes me, he gives me name, he gives me fame, money. But it's not that. The thing what he have taught me and what you have learned, that's more important for a musician to do that. You cannot just, only in music, you cannot just hold it or hide it. You have to give it back to others. That's the beauty of music. That's why we worship music. The reason is it's God. You cannot hold the God. Oh, it's mine. God is for everyone, and it can be in name of any form of God. But God is God. So for us, music is God. So we cannot hold it. He knows it. That's why he gave it to everyone. I cannot just hold it, hide it. So he did that. That's why I say, whatever I am right now, it's all because of him. It's not a question of fame, money, whatever. It's a musicality. The music which I can understand. And if someone plays which is not my genre, but I can still get it, it's all because of him. This is what I've learned from him.
Wow, it's very touching. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just incredible because the rest of us, know him as this master of rhythm and as this great entertainer and trailblazer. But I guess less people know of that side of really, really kind of a guide to younger musicians, as someone who, was able to really open doors for people. And yeah, I can. And just musically, I mean, he opened doors. How many people first got exposed to, this music through Shakti or
Yeah.
Planet Drum or whatever, and
Yeah.
yeah, I guess the doors are still open.
That's why I call him God. Like, even after Shinwaji passed away, when we came up, after for a small, little break, then Zakir Bhai is the person, who said, John, let's do it again. So he said, who's going to carry Shinwaji's suitcase? Who's going to be part of it? Then he's the one, he said, Ganesh Valan is amazing. So just imagine now, Ganesh, they all know as Ganesh Kumaresh,
Mhm.
right? They are brothers. But imagine he's the one who said, no, you have to have your separate name. Kumaresh has to have separate name. So he got him to the Shakti. Now he's a Grammy winner as a Ganesh. And also he toured with Kumaresh and his wife Jayanti. So just imagine the way he gets everyone, and then he said, no, no, do on your own. Everyone has to have their own path. So Ganesh, and then Kumaresh and Jayanti, Kala Ramnath, and the new, the flute players, they Hariji's disciple, that female. Just imagine, he would have said these are all younger musicians. They're not I'm top graded. He never feel it. First thing, and when he accompany for those for example Jayanti and Kala Ramnath, when they're playing, he can be I'm leader, so but he will treat himself as a accompanist when he goes into that music.
Mm.
So that's what all about Zakir Bhai. Zakir Bhai is not just one tabla player. He's like a blossom. He's like a huge. in everywhere. He's like a flower. He's like a world. He's like a universe. Because anyone can go and take anything, whatever they wanted, whatever they like it, and whatever they want to get it, they can go and take it from him. So if I want to be a only percussion player, if I feel it, oh, when I go and meet Zakibai, when I be with him, I can only learn this. It's not like that. He's like an open university. Like, you go any form of musician, even like, African, you name it, anything. They can go into Zakiba and then they can learn, or they can take whatever they wanted. And he has like a vast thing. Like, it's huge. He is huge. And whenever I see him, I don't see him as like a small person, like, in that thing. He's always like, my eyes is not enough. I need even not even just fish high. Like, I need little more to see him. Like, he's like a vast. That's why I say he's God.
I was supposed to speak with him. I think it was going to be a third interview, and it fell through at the end. But the thing I was most curious about, and I'm wondering if he ever spoke to you about this, was his chilla. Did he ever tell you about that experience?
Oh yeah, of course, a lot. So he says, like, I mean, well, there is a lot of stories like where he does the chillas, like, very sad, make him to do the you chillas like rihas, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah, like for a month or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe
yeah, he
explain
did
to
it.
the audience that they might not know.
Yes. No, no,
Yeah.
yeah, he told me a lot of stories about that, like how he does it, like, to be, like, adapt, like, he goes into the room, he never listens to music, anything. He will be constantly playing, like, a lot of things. And he always asked me, do you have anything similar to that in your form of music? I said, no, Zakir Bhai. We don't have, like, I mean, we just learn and practice, practice, practice whenever we have a time. There is nothing like you 7 days dedicated like this. But it happened to my dad because the resource, like, there is no other go. He has to do it because there was a position where, well, my family was struggling for food and money and everything. So my grandfather was a mridanga player, but he got an accident in his forefinger where he couldn't play the mridangam, so he can only play the morsing. So which means he lost a lot of jobs. So now he has to run a family, three sons. He made my dad, because my dad was like a 6, 7 year kid. He stopped his schooling and he put him in a room every day. It's for almost 6, 7 months, just teaching, practicing, teaching, practicing, teaching. This was happened to him. But this was not in a tradition, but this was like, need,
Mhm.
because he has to learn everything quickly so that he can start playing concert and earn money for the
Wow.
family to feed.
6, 7 years old,
Yes, six, seven
all
years kid.
day just learning.
Within 2 years he have learned, and around 9 he started playing concert, he started learning, and started earning. He was like, feeding the family. That's because of my grandfather. So I told this story to Zakir. I said, like, this is only thing which happened with my dad, and he said, that's too, it's needed. And then Zakir said, even for us it's needed, not to earn money, to get the things done. So which means everything you need, but don't do for need thing. You do with a passion, it will come to you. So that's why we do it. So we need the control and, like, a lot of stuff to learn, and then to maintain the, see, because if you, it's all a muscle memory, right? When you do for constant, we always say, like, 6, 7 days, if you do it, then it will sustain. Even any habits, if you, like, stop do the habit for 7 days, then it become habit. So if you do that, then you can practice, like, every 1 hour a day or something like that. But sometimes you hands get freezed or something. Within few minutes, you'll get your flow. The reason is muscle memory, bring it back.
Mm.
So it's all science. He always tells me nothing is devised in our country or in any form of music. They just randomly did it. It's all science behind it. When you do, like, the practice for 6 months, or, like, or 7 days or 21 days, whatever, it's all science, because you will be thinking only about that, and you will have a goal to reach to that speed, or whatever you make it. For example, that's the speed I can do, but I want to do for that speed. That's my goal. So let me set it up for that. For 7 days, I have to reach that. So which means you have a aim, you have a mean to say, you have to do this. So it's needed. So do it. So that's what I. So even now, when the last tour, when he was sick, like I mean, I know it personally, and when we did the last tour in Shakti, I know he was like he was totally sick. I mean I've of course I've seen that few things lively, but when he was on stage, never. He was always on the floor what he have done it in his like early ages or in his teen, whatever the speed, whatever the control, whatever the presentation, whatever the stamina, he will always have it on stage. And then when he walks out stage, he always like feeling tired. And then I
Mm.
said, Zakiba, how would this happen? Like then he came back to that. It's all because of my like practicing for 6 months. So it stays. It doesn't leave your body. That's the beauty of music. That's the beauty of practice. So again and again, you always come back to that. Like so this was the thing which he told me. Like then I said, even even when he was tired, I can hear his tabla in his room in the morning. At least like 15-20 minutes, he will just play. I can hear, like, I mean, sometimes we are neighbors next to room, and then I can hear him, and then I always goes to room. Is like, do you want something? Can I bring you? Because I want to take care of him. Then he said, no, 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 no. So, Zakiba, you're practicing? You're playing? I said, yeah, this is my job. So, what do I do in the hotel room? Do you think you want me to just watching something? I'm on tour. This is my job. It's not just only in the evening. We have a sound check and concert. No, from the morning I should be prepared. I should be get into that mood. My whole tour, it's my job. It's Shakti. After I finish this tour, when I go back to the next tour, I will be concentrating only on that music, and I'll be preparing for that. Preparing in sense ready to be like your mind, your like body, everything to set to that form, like form of music. So this all happens with him that like that.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing these stories. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really special to, hear this kind of inside, familial relationship. And yeah, I mean,
Mark,
what a blessing.
it's always a pleasure, and not just a pleasure, it's my duty to like talk about them which other, I mean, like a lot of musician doesn't know about it, because as you were mentioning it, everyone knows him as a like a personality of like musicianship, and like performer, and a beautiful presenter. But how deep he is, how like I mean, what kind of a person, why I call him a god. It's not just I call him a god because he gave me everything. He not just me, I can name it a lot of musicians. So only God can do it. He doesn't choose one person to give you. If you ask for it, he will give. He's the person, and sometimes he chooses. So ye have chosen so many musicians you have given. That's why I call him a god. It's not just like this I can call him, but when you move with him for a month, you will know it. Oh my gosh, yes, he's god. So that's one thing. And see, there are a lot of things which people doesn't know. The memory power which he has, it's unbelievable. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. There was like a person. It's still. It's when I say this, I can see the like full vision. Like when we were in Europe in I think 2002 or something. One person walked in. I said like, hi. He was like an elder person. He said, Zakir, do you know me? I met you 20 years back. He immediately point out his name, and he immediately point out where he met. He just met him once. After that, you haven't met.
Wow.
He just said that, and then this person started crying, and I was the witness. And then I said, "Oh my gosh!" Then we were in the bus, and then Zakir bhai, how did you remember him? I met him once. It stays. He, I said, I couldn't believe this. Like what a memory, because that helps in the music too. Because yeah, like after 2 years when we came in Shakti, he'll be bang on every bridge, and he never like listen to. At least we prepare. Okay, he can come and straight play bang on. That's the memory. As I said, the first piece, the Remember Shakti, like, the mind explosion, like, not the mind, the one, this moment when we were recording, the first piece, you haven't heard it, you just heard only once, the memory. Second, he said, like, do you want to hear? No, no, no. Just go, take, record. Don't stop anywhere. Just run through one thing. If any mistakes, we can just edit. But he played it exactly this, not just once. I have so many experience with him like this when I'm recording Zakir. And I'm not like, exaggerating. This is true. There is a witness. Of course, there is a video because the person who, like, we used to record the video thing. One take, one shot, he will go. I said, Zakir, how it's possible? No human can do this. I said, no, when I hear it, it stayed in my mind. So that kind of a memory, that's, to give you example, he met one person only once, 20 years back, and he can point out his name and then a place where he met. So he needs only one time to see, to hear, and it stays in his mind. And human cannot do that. Even AI cannot do it.
Yeah, I mean, even when you were saying that he was able to take the rhythms that you composed for the latest Shakti album,
Mhm.
and in one take process that all. I mean, that is really complex stuff, and it's Carnatic rhythm based, and
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and to be able to absorb all that in one take, I don't know.
It's exactly no. That's what I'm saying. I'm not like exactly saying like, to just to. He did it. He did it. I'm one witness, and then there is a tabla player who's a recordist who is also a disciple of one of Abbaji's student. He is the person who recorded. He was the witness, and there are a lot of people. Okay, this is a recording. At least he heard once. Okay, so many Carnatic concerts he used to play with Kadri Gopalnath ji, or like, when he played with Lalgudi ji, he comes on stage because Carnatic music, you don't practice. I mean, you don't rehearse or something like because it's all composed songs.
Yeah.
He comes, he plays. The people will see, oh, they have rehearsed, or he knows this music for so many years. He will be bang on the pocket. He go with the mridanga play, and he stops exactly what the South Indian does it. All the tihai, like, harudis, chord wise, mora, ev- without even hearing it, he will be on the pocket. How it's possible? Because his knowledge, he said, I asked him once, like, how it's possible, like, okay, if you would have heard this music, or it's all the same song, like, but the presentation is different through the different artists, the way they, like, improvising, that's totally different. But how it's possible? I just did one tour with El Shankar, El Subramaniam, and El Vaidyanathan with Palgat Mani. So that was the moment I learned this music. After that, it stayed, and then it's goes. So music, like, he always says, music gives me. This is what he says, like, do this, and I'm doing it, and it works. How it's possible? Only God. God knows everything. He knows David. He knows Selva. Like, even though you born in America, I born in India, but for him, he knows. Okay, when he talks to you in whatever the form of God you are thinking, he will do it. And whatever the form I'm thinking, he'll do it. Similarly, Sakib is like that. If you put him in jazz, if you put him in Carnatic music, if you put him in pop music, you put anywhere, he will be that zone, and he will be that form of a person. He will transform his thing to there, and they will feel, oh, very comfortable. Just ask, if any musician, they always says they are very it's not a question of, like, oh, he's amazing. No, they always says, I'm very comfortable when I'm playing with Zakir Bhai. That is more important. That's the beauty of a musician.
Mm.
You have to be comfortable. So just imagine, like, oh, he's amazing. He drives things. He's like, very good at grooving, rhythming, keeping time. It's all there. But first thing is comfortability. When I'm playing, I'm so comfortable. I can be comfortable with my brothers, my family. I can say anything. But when I'm moving with different people, I cannot. I always, oh no, I shouldn't say this in front of you because you're not that close. Maybe to the friends. So which means if you're comfortable in sense, like, you're comfortable.
Mm.
So each and every musician, they always says this. Oh, when I'm playing with Zakir, I'm so comfortable because I don't have to worry about anything. You will handle it. That's what even Bella said. Like, he brings up to the bridge, and that's what John G always says. Oh my gosh, he's like, and he says he's my metronome. Like, I still remember the 1999, the first album, Believer. It's a live concert album. So we have recorded a few, but only John G was doing editing, and and he says, for me, only Zakir Bhai's first that's like a click for me. And when I put it in I found a tempo and put it in, it's all like, stays in the
Wow.
meter. You ask John if you like, because he told me when my gosh, I he was like precise. His tempo is like, the one is like always on the one. So that was like, my metronome. So I adjusted all you guys, and like, we according to that.
So that album has edits?
No, and here and there, like, few,
No.
because there is like a lot of, like, some,
Sure.
we used to play the full one song, like a longer, but we need shorter, like, short the solos, little solos. So you wanted to edit The Believer. So which Chonji did it here and there, not the every song,
Yeah.
one or two, the main pieces where he wanted to edits, like,
But
So he
that's
said,
amazing. Yeah.
imagine who can do that, who can be like, very precise in his tempo at the same time. It's not just like, it has the feeling between one and the next one. Here it's the human. You
Yeah.
can go like, you cannot be like, very strict, then it become mission.
Hmm.
This is what Zach, like, John G said, one and one is precise. Here is the human. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of Zakir Bhai.
So
So
it's
one
both
is,
tight
yes,
and loose at the same time, or
yes,
something like that.
yes. Yeah. So again, I've learned this. Like, if like even now when I'm recording, I can always like, wanted to make sure my tempo is like precise. I
Mm.
try my best, but I cannot be Zakir Bhai. It's only one person. That's Zakir Bhai. But at least I can try, which he made me to try that and then to learn this everything. So the best opportunity and then best learning lesson which I've earned through him was the album This Moment. The whole thing. It's like, it's a beautiful schooling, beautiful university, what I've learned from John G and Zakir Bhai. Me as a co-producer to compose, I mean, to adjust the rhythm and like, fixing up everything. That's the, I would say that's my exam, which I passed. It's not like, I take a credit. It's an exam which they gave me. It's a
Yeah.
schooling. I went to the University of like, Shakti, and then learned it. And then I did the exam. I passed it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, thanks for taking the time to speak
My
with us.
pleasure. My
Yeah.
pleasure, man.
It's, yeah. It's so much great music from
Yeah.
from from Zakir G, from John G, from your father, from
Yeah.
and I think the world's a better place because of all of you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so happy to be part of Zakir Bhai's 75th birthday celebration, like, on the 6th of March. And definitely we'll be missing him, but he will be there definitely because the lineup, it's all Zakir Bhai's favorite musicians.
Yeah.
Like, from Charles Lloyd to Mickey to Bella Fleck, you name it, everyone. So in given Kala Ramnath and Jayanti Kumar is there, or like, myself,
Mhm.
and a lot of musicians who were all his favorites. Like,
Yeah.
so what do you expect? He will be definitely there. You like, he'll be relaxing and enjoying. Of course, you will feel like, oh my gosh, I have to be on stage to play because you cannot resist and you cannot stop him. But now the time, like I said, Zakir Bhai, you rest, you relax. Let's like, you enjoy your music.
Yeah.
So we will show you what you have done to this fall, what you have done to this music eternity, and what you have done to the musician. You will now see it. We will give it, not, we cannot give it back to you, but we can show you what we have learned from you. So now you sit back and relax and enjoy this moment. And I'm really, really, really happy. And I really thankful to Tony G and Aniza and Bella. And these, like, this is my family again. Aniza and Bella are like my sisters, real sisters, and
Mm.
like and we were like on go. I mean, together for so many years, and we have toured a lot. And Tony G is always like I mean, it's like a family, and she always says like when we were in tour in mid 90s, Salva, what did you have? Do you like it pasta? So it's like taking care of like a family. So I really thank the whole family of Zakir Bhai, especially Aniza, who like initiated this, and she really wanted to do something. I can be any form of support, and I'll stand for them in my lifetime, which is my duty to do that. So please come, like whoever. I know that it's not going to be on before 6, but just pray to have
Yeah.
a great concert, and we're going to have great fun on stage on the 6th. Looking forward.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah,
Selva.
my pleasure, David. Good to
Yeah.
see you.
Good
Yeah.
to see you and see you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. You ciao.
Peace.
So
Take
are
care.
you coming on the 6th, right?
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah.
Okay. Then
Yeah,
I'll see you
Mari and
there
I.
then.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll
Okay.
get a chance to say hi. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
You take care and have a good
Yeah.
evening.
All right. Talk to you soon. Ciao.
Talk to you soon. Bye. Ciao.